Greetings, everyone. Mike Wan here. Calendar date, January 29th, calendar year 2024. And I want to talk a little bit about this coming eclipse. I want to talk about it from both a natural astrology perspective and also a little bit as it relates to Aeros Circulation, this thing which I've been talking about for some time now. So let's begin actually right here. So this right here is a flyer of the 2024 Susquehannaalchemy River and Stars Tour. And this is an Aeros Circulation where in each of these locations, a river and stars ceremony will take place, and that is basically a heaven and an earth ceremony. It's just connecting with the heavens through the starboard, through astrology, and connecting, I said the earth, but I actually meant underground, connecting to the underground through the Susquehanna River. And by moving it, this same ceremony with the same water from the Susquehanna, intermingling it with other rivers as we go, we're actually participating in a larger ritual, which is this Aeros Circulation practice, as I've made mention to in previous videos. And I'm going to come out with another video where I go into much greater detail about this. But today I want to ground this in something else. So before I begin, Aeros Circulation, the purpose of it, as described as the tradition, is a movement around the land, whatever the land may be, for the purpose of consecrating it for a new destiny, a destiny which is outside of the current paradigm. Whenever this practice is being held, it's in relativity to those current times. So, all right, so this equates to all of these locations, primarily on the eastern side of the earth, or the United States, and then coming to out to New Mexico and back. And so the idea behind it is just that, like the movement, the ceremony itself, by accessing the heavens and the underworld, is the act of consecration, and it casts a sacred circle. And in the middle of the sacred circle we see right here is St. Louis. Now, this probably won't be the exact car ride, but conceptually, for what the point I'm trying to make, this makes a lot of sense. So why is this significant? We're going to switch gears now and talk about this solar eclipse. And I'm specifically referring to the April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse. I'm going to talk about this a little bit from a natural astrology perspective. Eclipses are regularly occurring, predictable phenomenon from our experience here on Earth. And eclipses, they come in pairs. There's a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse, and they're always tied to a new moon and a full moon within the same lunation cycle. So they're usually like 14 days apart. And though eclipses seemingly happen every 6 or 7 lunations, or 6 or 7, 180 days apart, where they're visible and the degree of their visibility is can vary to be anywhere on Earth. And so one, to have an eclipse over the land where you live is unique. And then secondly, the percentage of it being totality, like was it 100% total? Was it like 50% total? And those are kind of like the two variables at play. So what we have here is, we'll step back in time for a moment. In 2017, there was the Great American Eclipse, and it started, what this path is right here is the path of totality. So along this line, throughout the day, or really probably about an hour or so period, maybe longer than that, on August 21st, starting here in Astoria, Oregon, I believe, and then ending in Charleston, South Carolina, was this line that there was a total solar eclipse that went all the way across the United States. And that's a pretty rare occurrence, and it's like a big deal. And so it was like, it was all hyped up. This one, which is coming up right now, doesn't seem to have the same degree of hype, but arguably maybe I was a little bit more connected to public, pardon, that's a cat, don't worry. Maybe back then I was a little bit more aware of like mainstream media, so maybe it is being as hyped up as much, but it doesn't appear to be. And the same thing is basically happening, going from, you could see this line here on April 8th, there's going to be another total eclipse that goes across the United States. It's going to go across Mexico. It's going to go across part of Canada as well. And we can see they're going to intersect here. And these are relatively uncommon occurrences, to have a path of totality over a country, and then to have like this really clear intersection of where they intersect, and then that's special and it's unique. And then we kind of put into context of like the traditional meaning of an eclipse, like an omen of things to come. It usually has like a scary historical connotation, whether that's true or not, that's up to each person. But what undoubtedly is occurring is like there's something in the heavens which is visible, which is happening, which is unique and special. And it's worthy of taking notice. And an eclipse occurs between a very, very special alignment between the sun, the moon, and the earth. So it is, come here, Smokey. It is quite literally a symbol of alignment, and often eclipses, as they correspond to the nodes in astrology, they deal with, like, let's say, destiny or the unfolding of life path. So if we want to take a step back and look at this is like making a mark. This is making a mark of like, whatever an eclipse is, a total solar eclipse is marking itself on the United States during this time of, of chaos. I'm not suggesting anything major is going to happen, because they've been calling for something major for at least 60 years, in conspiratorial circles. It's always around the corner. And so I'm not trying to add to that. But what is occurring, is that there is a change. There is like, there's the speed, there's a quickening of the change in way culture is occurring, is modifying. And as the general rule goes, as goes the United States, goes the rest of the countries on Earth. That's at least has been a truism in culture. So we're seeing this mark on the United States. We're seeing it at this particular time, and we're seeing it at a particular location. But it's not just any location. The area spanning the parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky that will be the nexus of the next two total solar eclipses to occur in the United States. I think I read that wrong. An area spanning parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky will be the nexus. That's what this is right here. And this is just describing this path. And looking a little bit closer, this is that area. We could see St. Louis is right here. This cat is a crier. And if we look close at St. Louis, we could see how close it is to Cahokia Mounds, and get a little bit more specific. Right here is O'Fallon, and right here says Bellevue, and that's O'Fallon, that's Bellevue on the map. So we could see that it's the Mound site is right here. It's maybe not in the bullseye, the inner ring of the bullseye, but this is a pretty big ring pretty close to the bullseye. So we're having three things that are overlapping right here. We've got the 2017 eclipse, we got the April 8th eclipse, and we've got it at this location, Cahokia Mounds. And so the Cahokia Mounds site is the site of a pre-Columbian Native American city directly across the Mississippi River from present-day St. Louis, Missouri. It had a population of 15,000, 20,000 people live there. And here's part of it. Monk's Mound is the largest structure in the central focus of the city, a massive platform mound with 4 terraces, 10 stories tall, the largest man-made earthen mound of north of Mexico. So this was, this is a significant location for however you want to go and say the significance of the mound site is. It is undoubtedly of significance. And even more interesting is this is the site at the mound site of the 1987 Harmonic Convergence. So the Harmonic Convergence was the world's first synchronized global peace meditation, coinciding with an exceptional alignment of the solar system of the planets on August 16th through 17th, 1987. So we could see right here this article from the newspaper at Cahokia Mounds, a ritual in harmony. So one of the locations of this Harmonic Convergence was this mound site. 4:30 a.m. Sunday, an unusual procession of cars began arriving outside the Cahokia Mound State Historic Site near Collinsville. 90 minutes later, the vehicles choked both sides of the highway. Thousands of people of every age and stripe scrambled up Monk's Mound to be part of the Harmonic Convergence. By sunrise, when the prayer ceremony began, the 104-foot earthen knoll, this is what happened. You can see all of the people right here. And it happened at this location. And it happened as triggered by a solar system alignment. Similar gatherings took place at the same day. The Grand Canyon, Mount Shasta, the Inca ruins of Machu Picchu, the Great Pyramids, the Mexican pyramids. So let's go look at the what the solar alignment looked like. So this is what the solar alignment looked like right here. You can go see it's a really strong grand trine. We've got some lunar square energy. I just use that would change a little bit as the moon moves, but I use the time that was indicated right here at the location. That was, this is the chart at the site at the Cahokia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Site at the day and time. So what this does, let's go back to natural astrology. So we can see that this is back in play. Look at this. We've got this site, this time, we've got this time, we've got this time, all pointing at this same location. And so in natural astrology, we're not interested so much in the signs, what sign is what planet in, because that's going to change. That's going to vary based upon your system. We're going to use the signs as being able to identify, we need a point of reference to compare everything to, but we're going to look at this chart and we're going to see what's in play. You can see these are the locations that are played. These are the heavenly bodies at play. So right here, let me keep going before I go to this. So right here, this is what the chart at the same location looked like at the first eclipse. And here we have the second eclipse. And by looking at these, we can begin to have some degree of understanding of what planetary similarities are in play. We can compare the different charts. This right here is the comparison of the two eclipse charts to see what's lining up. What are the intra aspects? What are in play? And we can also go and compare that to this area, and we can have an understanding of really what this grounding is. Like we know that the purpose of this was a degree of world peace. That was the purpose of the energy at this time, as the non-stop drumbeat of World War III, of Civil War, which they've been drumming for a long time. As that is continuing to be ratcheted up, like we can go and ground into, by looking at these charts, we can ground into that energy. What I showed right here is a friend of mine who I'm doing an analysis for. Like we can see how the chart of the harmonic convergence hits his birth chart to see what's in play. You see all this square energy there's all of this square energy from the meetings of these two charts, which is pointing at his Saturn. So that's a telling that what Saturnian energy represents, and he can just use it as a symbol, or he can use it as grounding. For Saturn is a symbol of rooting or of grounding. Like you can work with energy and knowledge and take this occurrence, which is occurring really for everyone across Earth, but it's really focused upon those of us that are in Earth. You can go and look at this and apply this knowledge into an understanding of your own chart to recognize like how this universal occurrence is affecting you personally, in order for you to hold the energy at a given time. And the reason doing is that there is an integration in consciousness that happens when you bring this level of awareness into your rational mind, into the mystery of life, into the awareness of life is unfolding in this very, very interesting time. So I wanted to put that out there for everyone. One, if you are skilled enough in astrology to say oh yeah, now I get it. Go and look at your own chart and come up with your own sort of technique or your own strategy or of what you want to do. And then also I want to put out there this is a service that I provide. This is a way in which you can support this mission, is by having an analysis similar to what I would be doing for my friend Sean here. I would be analyzing and identifying the personal connection between the eclipses and your chart, so to give you some degree of meaning and a blueprint on how to meet this. Now, lastly, this falls in directly with this River and Stars ceremony. If there is any sort of heavenly symbol of preparing a land for a new destiny, I would say this is it. So that's it, my friends. If you're interested, you can, I'll put a link up on Linktree, but I've been having troubles with that. If you're interested in having a session, send me a message and we can go and set that up. There are two ways which we could do it. One is you just give me your information. I'll record a 90 or a 60-minute analysis and upload that to YouTube and let you just see that privately. Or we could do it live in a online conversation and explaining it. And that one would be a little bit more expensive, but that would be a little bit more interactive as well. So anyway, so hit me up if you're interested. We've got about 3 months to do this, and this is a great way to help us fund this coming event. Thanks a lot. Hope to hear from some of you. Take good care.